bit of a different scene today. I'm filming this video, I hope you guys don't mind, in a bit of a sit down cute chat in the middle of a field. And today we're going to talk about something really important and something what I help my clients through in the work that I do inside my container of coaching. And it's such a hot topic as well. It's about how to actually embody the higher self here and now. And what does that look like? And that's what we're going to unpack today. And this is going to be advice that you can take today and actually implement. And actually it's really important that you do that, because most people are actually waiting to meet their higher self. They're waiting for them to show up in like a vision or a dream or something like that. And that is partly true. There are definite ways that we can talk to our higher selves and we can get, messages and downloads from them. But being your higher self is an identity that we need to embody today, the here and now and the present. And so today I'm going to show you how to step into that energy immediately. Not in 6 months, not when your bank account looks healthier. I'm going to give you some guidance and advice on how to do that today. So I just want to reframe in this video what the higher self actually is, because there's so many videos out there about, higher self and like how to meet your higher self, but what actually is the higher self? So your higher self is basically your most regulated self. It's that version of you that when you close your eyes and you see in the future, what do they act like? What do they have right now that you feel like you are lacking today in the present? What kind of attributes, what kind of personality traits that you really want to tap into that they have already when you think about them in the future? What is it they have that you don't have right now? What is their nervous system like? Because our higher self's nervous system doesn't live in fight or flight. It doesn't live in a lack or scarcity mindset, because they already have everything sort of figured out. They have the backing of themselves to know that everything in life is unfolding as it should, and they don't panic, they don't force, they don't grasp, and they don't try to force, outcomes and control in life. They let life flow and show up as it should, while still implementing steps towards their goals and visions. Because sometimes the final outcome of our lives doesn't look like the one that we have planned, and sometimes when that doesn't go exactly like how we want in the present, we start to freak out and this isn't what I wanted things to look like. For example, we've got desires planted within us for a reason. They're on that timeline that we can see that we want for a reason. They've been planted there for a reason by our higher self. It's like a little breadcrumb trail. And sometimes we force an outcome the way we think it should be, but universe and higher self have different plans for us. And sometimes the thing that we don't end up getting becomes the thing that works out way better for us and we actually needed. And so that is your higher self energy. It's the knowing, the steadiness, the unwavering strength, the unwavering authenticity. It's your most authentic self. It's the version of you that's not operating from that fear programming. And if you watch my last video on authenticity, I'll link it down below. This is the foundation. So go back and watch that video if you haven't already seen it, because this will link perfectly into this video. So you cannot embody your higher self while you're pretending to be someone else. Like I said, you cannot fake your frequency. So what is step one? Let's do this in steps. So step one, nervous system regulation. This is a non-negotiable. Again, I spoke about this in the last video, but if you want to embody your higher self today and you want to meet them, you want to start to step into that, you need to have control over your nervous system. And that is a process. If you are someone that's like me, used to live in constant fight or flight, very anxious person, I mean, the old me would not have been able to even sit out in a field and do this, or speak to a camera, or lead classes and workshops to multiple hundreds of people start a business. That was the old me, the old identity that didn't serve me. Always living from fight or flight, what if, worry, past fears, future fears. If you're anxious, defensive and spiraling, that's survival. And you cannot attract, you cannot magnetize, you cannot be a channel for all the opportunities in your life and things to come into your life if you are in that survival mode. You literally are like blinkered. It's like having blinkers on. You can't see anything else outside of the stress and the worry and the fear, because that is an energy in itself. That is that lower end of the vibrational scale. That is taking up so much energy, just keeping you alive. Basically, that's what your body feels like it's doing. It's just keeping you alive and nothing else. Your higher self lives in a regulated vessel, a regulated channel, a regulated body. So step number 2, define them clearly. So what are like practical things that you can do to embody your higher self? And I've also, guys, this would be such a perfect tool if you are into this topic in any way, shape or form. I just released a book, an ebook and guide called Awaken the Higher Self. It has everything in this video. This is like the video if you are into this kind of subject. This book would be perfect for you. It's over 50 pages of how to regulate your nervous system, how to script properly, how to journal properly, how to actually meet your higher self, how to quantum leap and jump timelines, you know, all about shedding old identities. I go into so much detail in that. So I will leave the link in the description for that as well. So I'll give you some practical examples of how to regulate your nervous system right now. For number 1, this, get outside. I mean, I'm just going to show you guys where I am right now. I mean, this is just perfect, perfect to me. And you should be making being outdoors, getting fresh air, and slowing your breath down, longer exhales over shallow breathing, fresh air, you know, having a walk, dropping your shoulders, unclench your jaw, breath work, you know, movement, moving your body, getting out a walk, getting out a run, yoga, whatever calls to you. It needs to, the more authentic it can be to you, the better. Don't just do something because someone else told you to do it. Do it. Take the advice which best applies to you, because then it's going to be even more attractive. You're going to be much more a channel for attracting the kind of things that you want when you're actually doing the things that, you know, excite you and light you up. So for example, being outdoors, being in nature, this is my like favorite thing to do each day. It's like a non-negotiable for me. This is my kind of movement. I love yoga, I love walking, I love nature, I love the calm and quiet of outdoors, and it really should be a non-negotiable for everybody. But whatever feels good to you, you know, if you're a stressed person and a really anxious person, but you want to start looking after your body, you want to work out, don't be doing like, you know, like crazy intense HIIT exercises at the gym. You're going to stress your body out more. Start with something like soft, like yoga, stretching, you know, a little walk on the treadmill. Like start off where you're not putting your body under more stress. You don't want to keep stressing your body out if it's already stressed. We're trying to get it out of that. You know, start to slow down your voice and the way you speak slower. When you're in survival mode, you're always a million miles an hour, you know. So you don't access your higher self by thinking harder. You access them by claiming your nervous system. And that's the work we're doing in this video today. So now I want us to do this together. So take a big deep breath in. And you can do a hand on your heart to connect to yourself a little bit more. If you're feeling a bit like you suffer from like dissociation, which I definitely have done in the past, or, you know, working with clients all the time, that's a 1,000,000% something that my clients all deal with as well, is dissociation from time to time. And that's again your body in fight or flight, and it's a horrible feeling, but it's your body doing its job. It's keeping you safe, but your body actually thinks that you're being chased by like a tiger. And that's not a state that you want to be in constantly. But that's definitely the case for some of us. We feel like we're in that state all the time. So if you feel like you can't really think clearly, it's because you're too much in your head and you need to come back into your body. So hand on your body, like hand to your chest, hand on your belly, connect with your breath that way. It sounds, you know, like hippie, crazy woo-woo stuff, but guys, this is just science. It's get back into your body and out of your head. So yeah, hand on your heart, take a big deep cleansing breath in and just center yourself. And I want you to ask yourself, how does your higher self move when you think about them in the future? Think about your most established, most authentic self, and they're in there. I know I say higher self like it's outside of you, but your higher self just means like they're operating from that higher power, that higher awareness. But your authentic self is buried in here somewhere. They just got covered with, you know, labels of who you should be, or like nasty names people have called you in the past. So they get lost, but they're in there. So ask, who is this best version I want to become? How do they move? Like, how do they move in the world? Are they confident? Do they react? Are they reactive? Or do they hold composure? How do they speak? Are they, again, composed? Are they confident? Are they sure of what they're saying? Do they believe their own words? Do they have integrity? What do they tolerate? What does your higher self tolerate? What do they not tolerate? You need to be so clear when you're asking yourself this. Damn, this sun is so hot. It's so nice because Scotland has been so cold. How do they respond under stress? Again, this is another big one. How are they responding to stress? Do they retreat? Are they avoidant? Are they anxious? Do they catastrophize things? Do they make it like stress is the worst thing ever and they can't handle it? Or are they someone who's secure and they can hold space for themselves? How do they treat their body? This has been a huge one for me that I've been working on over the years as well. And that is, you know, working out, not just making excuses not to work out, to eat properly, to eat right. When I went to Costa Rica, it was such a awakening for me to see the way that people lived there. It was very simplistic but very healthy. The food was locally sourced. You know, people wanted to eat better because there was better options. How do you treat your body? Do you move it every day? Are you breathing into your body every day? Are you letting your thoughts accumulate every day so that you're then getting stressed out? What does your higher self do? Your higher self knows better. Your higher self knows that you have to process things to be able to move through and get to your next level. And we're constantly revealing new sides to ourselves. And we get stronger and we get, you know, more wise as we go. How do they treat other people? How does your higher self treat other people? Okay, not fantasy, not ego, not perfect. It's a regulated, grounded, powerful version of you. So really be so clear. Be so clear on what that looks like. And when you're thinking of these questions, of like, how does that look in the future? If you can really bring emotion into that, that's even more powerful. Because you're like almost visually rehearsing in your head, meeting them. And your brain doesn't know the difference between something happening now or something happening, you know, make-believe, or you're watching it on TV. If you're mentally rehearsing and bringing emotion into that, it's like you're collapsing those timelines and you're actually meeting that. And you're telling your brain and your mind that this is something that can happen. Sports people, they always visualize mentally rehearse their routines and things before they go on to do it. It's like a run through. So make sure you make it like a daily habit to check in with your higher self and, you know, really embody what that looks and feels like today. Because the more you can do that and feel into that right now today, is the more you will become more clearer and you'll have a better idea of what it is you actually want, and you can work with that so much better. Okay, so step number 3, shift beliefs in real time. So your higher self thinks differently. Ask yourself day to day when you're in a situation, and this is you, hopefully you're on this video today because you're trying to better yourself, you're trying to better your life, you're trying to make better decisions for yourself so that you can lead yourself to the life that you really want. And so if you're confronted with like an opportunity or something arises in your life, and you know, say that you are wanting to really grow your business, you want to start your business and you're really locked into that, you're surrounding yourself with, you know, people that might not be reflective of where you want to go. And I'm not saying to cut out, you know, all your friends, but we have to be really mindful of the choices that we are making and the people that we surround ourselves with. And we need to audit that quite often, actually, to make sure that we are on track and we are in control of where we want to get to. And so what I get my clients to say to themselves in those tricky and messy situations sometimes that can come up, ask yourself, stop first, hand to your chest and ask yourself, what would my higher self do? And that is like so confronting, because then you're like, right, okay, I'm actually having to be accountable in this moment. What would my higher self do? Would they go out and drink this weekend when they know that they've got a podcast to film for their new podcast channel that they really wanted to start and they've been saying they wanted to start? Or are you going to go and have a blowout with your friends this weekend and put it off again to the next weekend, and then the next weekend never comes? You've said you wanted to watch your lifestyle and your diet. Again, you're presented with friends that want to drink and, you know, always eat crap, and you can make better choices. You can still go and enjoy time with your friends, but you don't have to drink, you don't have to eat crap. You can take that choice into yourself and ask, what would my higher self do? Because where are they at this moment? Are they eating that thing? Are they drinking that much? Are they partying that much? Are they pouring into themselves that much? You will get your answer. Your answers are always in here. And that's exactly how you can tap in and meet your higher self in that moment. That's when you will get your answer. And your answer should come as a calm knowing. It should either feel expansive, it should feel like a full body yes. I always tell my clients, you know, when you ask yourself these questions, ask the question, pause, ask the question, and then say, what would my higher self do? And if it feels expansive and good in your body, then good. That's a yes usually. If you feel restricted, that's a no. That's a no. If it feels like in the pit of your stomach, kind of feels like, oh, or you feel kind of like hunched over when you think about making that decision, that is a no. And honour your truth, honour your body. And again, if you are in these day-to-day situations, and say that this is what I help my clients with through coaching as well, you know, if you're spiraling, if you're having a spiraling moment where you feel like you could unravel, what would they say? What would your higher self tell you? Listen to what that advice is. Because sometimes we would give our friends like great advice, but we can't give it for ourselves, and that is one thing that we really need to hone and work on. We should be our own best friend. It's us that have to live with us all the time. We can't escape us. So if you're spiraling, what would your higher self tell you? What would that soft voice tell you that you needed to hear? And honestly, that is how you regulate. Use your higher self to regulate. It is so perfect because it's coming from you, not someone else. It's not coming from an external voice, because most of the time that's just projection, and it's okay to get advice from other people, but self-sourcing is the most powerful thing you can do. And again, if you're procrastinating, say you wanted to, you know, launch this YouTube channel, you wanted to apply for that new job, and you're procrastinating, what would your higher self tell you to do? And why are you procrastinating? It's fear of what could be. Okay? It's the fear of you having to show up if you get that thing. It's the fear of being ready. It's the fear of being responsible if you actually go ahead and it does work out for you. And that's quite a scary thing. People would rather have the discomfort of anxiety and anxiety of staying the same over what could be, the unknown. And that's, again, biology, it's science. Our bodies are here to keep us safe. There's so many cute little birds out here, guys. Again, if you're chasing validation, this is a huge one for people. Validation can mess a lot of people up, guys. Like, this is a big one in today's society, I think. There's so many people chasing validation. There's so many people making wrong decisions for themselves that are hurtful and impactful on their life that they don't maybe see down the line because they are seeking validation in that moment from someone else and not themselves. And that is so dangerous because it gives your power away. It's giving your power away. And in the moment it might feel nice, but when you're constantly outsourcing validation, it means that you don't have any self-love in here. And that's what you need to work on. That's giving you feedback. That's telling you to cultivate that love from inside. So here's some powerful reframes that you can say to yourself if these things come up. I'm not ready. You can now say, I grow by doing. I grow by trying. Again, my last video, we talk about evidence. Once we start seeing evidence that we try the new things and we see it working, we then start to rewire our inner dialogue in our subconscious. They might judge me. And reframe that as my authenticity filters my people. That is so cool, actually. I love that one. That could not have been more true for me when I moved to Costa Rica. You know, I grew up in the UK and it is quite a judgmental place and people aren't very happy and people are so deficient in vitamin D and like this is rare for us. Like this is making me so happy right now. It's just such a change what like some sun can do on your skin. And we're so conditioned to, you know, grind, 9 to 5, hustle. And, you know, when I went to Costa Rica, I got to embody me because it brought me out more. You know, people there were so high frequency and so high energy. You're not used to seeing that here. They're so authentic because they're not scared to be authentic. And Costa Rica pulls people there, I think, to bring that out of them. And it's where everyone kind of goes because they had the same calling and it's just such a beautiful energy. And that's where I met my people. It was so beautiful. So reframe this. I can't handle this. I can't handle this. To I regulate and respond. Or even better, I regulate, then respond. My client actually, she told me that this week. She messaged me and she said, Steph, like, you'll be so proud of me. And I am so proud. She said, I took the time to take myself away in a situation that I usually would have spiraled at, and I regulated myself, and then I responded. And she said that the scenario that she was in worked out so much better than what would have happened previously, and that is the work in action. That is great. So step number 4, micro embodiment today. This is so important. So what we're not looking to do is overhaul our full life. Okay, pick one. So what's it going to be today? Your micro embodiment. Are you going to send the message to the job that you want to apply for? Are you going to start the podcast? Are you going to film the video? Are you going to say no to those plans that you actually don't want to go on because that's authentic to you and you're going to have to let some people down, but are you going to keep constantly self-sacrificing your needs and your happiness just to people please? And remember, people pleasing from the majority of the time is a trauma response too. I mean, it's nice to be needed, but we need to decipher when we're people pleasing and when we're not, because that leaks so much energy. Are you going to go to the gym? Are you going to stop over explaining yourself to people? It's another hard one. I used to do that all the time. Stop. This is a huge one. Are you going to stop apologising for existing? Do you know how many times I used to do that when I was younger and I didn't have a clue about life? I literally used to apologise for just being me. Sorry, I'm sorry for doing that. Sorry for, you know, being too loud in a moment, sorry for being too quiet in a moment. Like, stop apologising for existing. We are here to be unique, we are here to take up space. Are you going to have the uncomfortable conversation? Having that uncomfortable conversation, that's a big one too. Are you in a relationship that you know is detrimental to your health and your life and your goals and dreams? Are you going to have that uncomfortable conversation to end it so that you can then move on to a life that is actually in alignment? That is one of the hardest things. And actually that's another thing that I used to have trouble with too, ending relationships when they weren't good for me. Walking away because I felt like I was failing if I did that, or I wasn't going to ever find someone else again. And that all comes down to, you know, that abandonment wound. Another video I made as well on that father wound. Go and watch that. That's the first long form video I've made here. I'll link everything down below. Everything is relative. All of this ties together. Authenticity, higher self, manifestation, core beliefs, the work. Everything comes back to one thing. It's the inner work, your inner self concept. It all comes back to that. So make that micro decision today. Make one. If you can move the needle on one little thing in your life today, you will start to see massive ripple effects into your life. And that is how you meet your higher self. Okay, that is how you end up collapsing those timelines. And you need to, again, have that certainty and that trust that if you are doing these things, you will become that higher self version. And they will start dropping in opportunities and blessings into your life when you are ready for that. And again, the work is in keeping strong and steady when it's not showing up. I promise you, as long as you are doing the work in small ways, showing up for yourself and doing something different, that, you know, not reacting in the way you used to, and then seeing that evidence that it's going to work out better for you, that the universe will make things uncomfortable 1,000 times over until you learn the lesson. And again, that's your higher self. I like to say they're up there just giving you like little nudges, and then you ignore that, so they give you like a slap to the face, or you fall ill or something like that, until you wake up and see that your higher self is trying to speak to you. They're trying to shout. They don't want you to waste your life anymore. So again, get clear on who your higher self is, what they want, and you'll know that. Everyone knows deep down what they want. And if you're having trouble with that, if you're having trouble getting clear on that, that is the work I do with my clients, and it's the work I'm walking my clients through right now. And again, I have very limited spaces because I coach people one-on-one. It's not pre-recorded workshops, it's me and you working together. I do a 7-week program, and I also do one-to-one sessions. So let's leave the video on this note. Let's say out loud, I am no longer becoming this person. I am no longer becoming this person. I am deciding to be them. Okay, embodiment isn't future tense, it's present tense behaviour. And again, I'll leave the link to my ebook and my guide. It's a tool that you can come back to again and again. It's not just a one read thing. It is a tool to use to come back to, and it's full of journal prompts in there as well to help you reflect and see your higher self and get to meet them and embody them today. It's to help with all of this. Like, your higher self isn't loading. They're waiting for you to act now. Become them today. I hope this was helpful. This has been such a nice place to film. I think I'll do this more. But if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and leave a comment down below, and let's have a chat in the comments. And I will see you next week on the next one. Bye.